Our last and final event is going to be a panel on media and animal liberation. And first we have Bob Linden. And Bob Linden is a New York City native and a graduate of Queens College of the City University of New York, who has led a double life as a professional broadcaster and an animal rights advocate. He was named Program Director of the Week by Billboard magazine and received Addy Awards for copywriting and TV spots and billboard campaigns. Bob's Gypsy radio life includes starting WQCD CD 101 in New York, programming Love 94, he didn't come up with the name, in Miami, and achieving highest rating ever at 98.1 KIFM in San Diego. He has also served as a program director of radio stations in Omaha, San Antonio, Las Vegas, and Atlanta. Bob is an animal lover who has been joyously vegan for 21 years. Casey Suchan, and Casey Suchan is the co-owner of Open Roads Films. Her latest project is Bold Native, a fiction film that incorporates real activists and documentary footage and telling the story of an ALF member putting together a coordinated nationwide action as the FBI closes in on his cell. While they were writing, rewriting, and planning and organizing the production of Bold Native, and watching in horror as corporate interests successfully uprooted democracy and redefined activism as terrorism in the wake of 9/11, Suchan and creative partner Denis Hennelly paid the rent by producing a series of critically acclaimed, best-selling documentaries on hip-hop, culture, and history. Thompson has spent over 20 years writing, recording, and performing his music around the United States with a message and intent to inspire those willing to listen. Edge with Dreads has been vegan since 1988, and his love and respect for all life fuels his music for animal liberation. And last but not least, we have Denis Hennelly, who is a filmmaker and co-owner of Open Road Films. Open Road Films' current project, Bold Native, tells the story of an animal liberator wanted for domestic terrorism. Denis has also produced and/or directed a series of documentaries on hip-hop, including Rock the Bells and Beef. So let's give a round of applause.
Thank you very much. So I'm quite honored to be here today among the most heroic and noble people in our society, which you are. For the last 9 years, I've been hosting the first vegan animal rights radio program in mainstream media ever, called Go Vegan with Bob Linden, as a project of Go Vegan Radio, which is a 501c3 nonprofit. And so it's the first vegan animal rights show. It was also the first vegan animal rights major network radio program, having been on Air America for about a year, 26 radio stations, and usually running in Los Angeles and San Francisco. I'm on Green 960 in San Francisco now. And I've been an animal rights activist since the mid-1980s. And normally, well, if you watch the trailer for this event, you saw me with a megaphone. If you go to YouTube, you'll see me with a megaphone getting arrested for Free Friday last November. And to me, it's all about getting information to people, because we have the argument, you can't defeat our argument on any basis related to kindness to animals, going vegan, the environment, human health. To me, I take my megaphone out on the street and maybe address 50, 100 people who go by and say, like, get a job, get a life. You do this on a microphone, and suddenly there's a certain credibility, especially if you're in real radio. And people say, wow, did you hear that? That guy said that meat and dairy cause 51% of all greenhouse gas emissions. Meat and dairy cause global warming. So there's a certain credibility to being in the media, or I call it meaty, because it is so hard to crack. I have to pay for the airtime each and every week, as I've done for 9 years, which is not easy, soliciting funds for commercials, for vegan and cruelty-free products and services, and tax-deductible donations to pay for the airtime. But to me, why reach 50 people when I can reach thousands of people? And that's the whole idea behind the radio program. So now that it's on 9 years, I hear from people all over the world. Last week, I got an email from somebody in Russia, a city whose name I have not yet memorized, and she says, "Oh, you have 10 people here who are listening to your show. It's an inspiration. We're going vegan." I hear that from all around the world because I'm for peace and nonviolence, so I drink cow's milk, you know, or I eat cage-free eggs or whatever. More and more I see that as an awful trend too, thanks to HSUS and its $120 million a year that it brings in, but it doesn't support my show at all, you know, with all that money. So my belief is that we need to be, well, basically this is animal liberation media infiltration. It hasn't been done before. Because of my career in radio, I think management trusted me to be on the air. I mean, I expected, when this show went on 9 years ago, that I would do 1 or 2 programs, management of the radio station would hear it and say, "Get that guy off the air. I mean, he's insulting all of our advertisers, all the restaurants, all the pharmaceuticals, you know, we can't have that." So apparently management hasn't listened for 9 years, so we're on for 9 years now. And this allows other, and I want to invite you to look at this as the project for you to be involved in, because we'll spend weeks planning something and tabling and talking to 12 people when we've infiltrated the media. And you know, I want you to help me to help this grow also. And it's a matter of raising money, and it's a matter of being able to create certain events. Because I have the radio show, I'm invited to speak in many places, which wouldn't happen. So last week in San Francisco, we had Cesar Chavez Day. So I'm on stage telling everybody that Cesar Chavez was a vegan, and it was as important to him to convert people to veganism as to trade unionism. Well, you don't get to hear that anywhere else, you know, so we're it, you know. I mean, unfortunately, this is the one instance of animal liberation media infiltration in real talk, on real talk radio stations. It's not that somebody's Googling vegan or looking for a podcast. This comes on, well, Green 960. It's been on K-Talk in Los Angeles, AM 1150. That costs $1,000 a week, and I haven't afforded that in a couple of months. In San Francisco, it's $400 a week, so that I keep going on a regular basis. But I wake up every Monday morning in a panic over, well, how am I paying for the show this week? You know, and that will happen tomorrow morning also. And some miracle has happened for 9 years this way, every week, because the animals need a show. I panic over losing the show, not for myself, because my life would improve immensely if I weren't doing this, but I panic for the animals, you know, and as worried as I get every week, and I will be sick tomorrow morning, worried about getting the money in, you know, all the animals would trade places with me for the problems I have to get a radio show together, but I don't want to let them down. And so it leads to certain things. I created an event in San Francisco, Soul Food for Thought, which was outreach to African Americans. And we had that opportunity to do that. Full black, you know, cast of performers. John Sally hosted, Tracy Bingham co-hosted. This is our show. This is your show. This is the show for the animals. It's only on because of love for the animals. This is the only reason that this show started and the reason that it continues. And it is your show. There are many people in this room who've been on the show, you know. So I just want to invite you to help me keep it on. You know, it costs a lot of money every week. Maybe you want to sell advertising or raise donations. I'm glad to give you a percentage. You know, I just want to keep it going because it's so important for the animals, and they're having credibility, you know, on regular radio stations. There'll be a show on about Obama, you know, healthcare, whatever, and then out of the blue pops a vegan radio show, and we need that.